The 11th speaker is Ms. Fumiko Watanabe, representing Sophia University. The title of her speech is Heart in Hand. Heart in Hand. Would you now welcome Ms. Watanabe?
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson and honorable judges in the questioner. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you one question. What did you write by hand in the past few minutes? Comment sheets or judging sheets for speakers? I hope that you have put your heart into them. I don't deplore that we have fewer opportunities to write by hand because of the spread of personal computers. I do not want to say that we must learn calligraphy and develop beautiful handwriting skills. I mean that there are more than just meaning of words or phrases in our handwriting, and it might deliver our feelings without realizing. Today, I'm standing here to tell you how wonderful it is to write characters politely. The other day, I got papers about a job next weekend by mail from a staffing company I registered before. When I opened the envelope and glanced at the papers, I frowned my face before thinking. The handwriting on the papers was quite legible. Of course, it was hard for me to make out the contents because of messy handwriting. At the same time, I fell down to see the characters because I felt discarded by that company. Would that person write to his boss in the same way as he wrote to me? I didn't think so. Perhaps he was not intending to make me feel offended, but just trying to finish writing the papers in a hurry. However, characters we wrote with less concern have the power to make receivers have negative feelings. If you were to choose a gift for your lover, you will not try to think about him or her. What does he want in these days? Which color will suit her most? In case of speech activities, you cannot help considering your audience. We speakers should always pursue better ways to deliver what we want to say from the bottom of hearts. Therefore, when we deliver some feelings or messages to someone, we must be aware of receivers vividly. And I strongly believe that it is not much different than handwritings for someone. However, it is difficult for us to focus on receivers when we write something. That is because receivers, in case of the characters, are often persons who we've never seen, or persons whose faces we cannot see on the spot. Some of us who are not confident in their own handwriting say, it is not for them to write characters receivers can barely read. However, it is not polite of us to bother the receiver with reading and making out the contents. As long as there is someone who will see the characters we write, it's a given fact we write characters anybody can make out with no trouble. Writing character is caring about readers. Writers should make an effort to let receivers read more easily. And in order to achieve that, we need to write politely. Then, how can we care about readers and write politely? I'd like it to put 3 points into practice. First of all, please write with enough time and care. That means, please try to pay attention to each stroke of character. Cloud, stopping, upward stroke, for example. By doing this, our character becomes more regular in shape and easy to read for receivers. Also, we need to notice that readable handwriting sometimes differs from each situation. For instance, when we write to little kids, we should not use a simplified form of kanji. For the elderly, we need to write larger, and for general public, it is inappropriate to write in cursive style. In this way, we can express our kindness by considering the manner of writing as well. And lastly, this is the most important. After writing something, please look over it and ask yourself, if I show these characters to the future receiver, how will he or she feel? I'm sure that you can sometimes realize that it needs some rewriting. Of course, we cannot always spend much time when we have to write at once. However, we must keep in mind why we are writing and how this character will make receivers feel. This alone, let our character become more readable and polite ones. Even if the receiver doesn't know how we write every day, still we should write to them politely. There are more than one readable handwriting because it is natural for us to have different features of handwriting. We need to have our own readable handwriting. Especially if you write to a person we've never seen, he or she will judge you by your character. In other words, your character might influence your first impression. Our character can express not only our impatience and contempt, but the feelings of tension, affection, and respect. Then, let me ask you one question. After this speech, what will you write by hand next time? Comment sheet or judging sheet for me. Before you write them, would you remember the question I asked a short time ago? I'm sure that your kind attention to character will come across through your character. Your character is your heart. Thank you for listening.
We will now have a question and answer period. Miss Onishi, please.
Thank you, Fumiko-san. I think you made your presentation very politely. Well, I have two questions. Could you tell me why you chose this topic?
Okay. The most direct trigger is the experience that I mentioned in my speech. But I've been learning calligraphy for about 14 years until today.
Yes.
So I was told that to write politely in daily lives by my teacher or my parents. So I have been thinking why I should write politely. So I decided to write this speech.
That's interesting. Calligraphy in Japanese, shodo.
Yes.
Do you agree that experiencing some kind of do of Japan can change your behavior in a polite way as a manner? For example, if you do sado, I did not say tea ceremony to translate sado, but if you experience sado, do you think the behaviors or your actions can be changed in a little polite way?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, why do you think so?
Japanese do includes many polite ways to please the receiver. Like the skill to concentrate on something, and so we can improve the skills to please the receiver and concentrate on something by learning do in Japanese do.
Oh, I see. Do you think concentration is related to politeness?
Yeah, of course I think so. Because in order to please the receiver, we need to spend much time and consider about the receiver, and by doing this, we can naturally be polite and concentrate on the thing.
Okay, I see. In your speech, you mentioned handwriting can be your first impression. I also think the way you speak also can be your first impression. What do you think about this?
Yes, it is true, but as for speaking, we can usually see the faces, the speakers, but in case of handwriting, we cannot see the faces, the writers, so it is difficult it is more important to concentrate on to write by hand.
Because it is invisible.
Invisible, yes.
I see. Okay. Could you explain a little bit more about, we don't have time. Readable terms. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.